I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Doop, 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 doop. Okay, hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 389th episode of the Political Spotlight. Welcome, welcome. Hey, just a couple of quick housekeeping issues. I did mention this last night, but maybe it was quick, maybe it was in passing, maybe it was before some of you logged on. So last night, I said that this week is going to be kind of a weird week. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I literally have basically everything lined up for the entire week worth of shows already. And that does not have anything to do with what could just happen during the day. So, for example, last Saturday, I had basically all week's worth of shows lined up already, what I was going to talk about each night. And that was before I realized that there were 2 committee meetings today that needed to be talked about. There was a committee meeting tomorrow from the State House to be talked about. And there were these things going on. So things are going to be kind of out of order. So today, some major things happened at the State House. Really just one major thing, and then there was a bill. So breaking news, for those of you that have not heard, the Braun property tax plan is not going to come to fruition as Braun hoped that it would, which, if you've been watching my program, you are not surprised about, because I started telling you guys this as far back as July of last year. So I told you guys all this when everybody was going crazy, when Rob Kendall was going crazy and telling you how great it was going to be. I was like, no, it's not going to be that way. It's not going to be happening that way. This is not going to be happening. So unfortunately, just because of how everything's falling, though, we're not going to be talking about that tonight. We are also not going to be talking about the utilities and energy and whatever committee today, talking about House Bill 1628, because there is a committee hearing tomorrow, Courts and Criminal Code, that will be hearing the law enforcement bill, House Bill 1186. So what I figured was tomorrow, Wednesday, it will just be State House night. We will focus on all 3 of the big State House happenings. We'll focus on Senate Bill 1, which was the property tax plan. We'll talk about that first. Then we'll talk about 1628, which happened today. And then we'll end on 1186, all tomorrow. So for those of you that are wanting to hear about all of that stuff, tune in tomorrow at 9. We will talk about that. Also, while we're here, tomorrow at 10:30, we will be live streaming the committee meeting that will talk about House Bill 1186. So you will be able to tune in. You'll see this. This will be up, and we'll talk about it. Now, it'll start at 10:30, but that doesn't mean that's when the committee will start. Today, they were like 20 minutes late, so it'll be what it'll be. Just roll with it. Tonight, though, we will be talking about Madison County because the Madison County Council meeting just wrapped up, and they announced the date, time, and location of the caucus, which will be on Saturday, March 1st. So, because of that, we're going to be bringing on contributing correspondent Katherine Callahan in just a moment. Before we do that, I do want to ask, as always, that you hit the like button, give us a like, share the show with everyone you know, help spread the word. If you're watching live, comment over here. If you're watching in the future via replay, comment down below and help us out. Okay, subscribe if you haven't, yada, yada, yada. You can follow the social medias all down there below. Follow Katherine on social media. You don't have to be our friend to watch her stuff, her or mine, okay? But you can send us friend requests. That's fine too. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Katherine Callahan, Dr. Katherine Callahan here, and we'll see what she has to say today. Hello.
Well, I'm on YouTube talking to everybody because you're talking, so I'm like entertaining the crowd over here.
Yeah, that's fine. I see you over there. What's going on? How's it been?
Well, listen, it's been a busy week since I left you on Friday. I had to call my jets on Saturday and Sunday, but then we're just back in the saddle again with all the corruption. So I just want to ask the people. There was this large article that was published about me in 2022. That article claimed that I had factioned the Republican Party. But tonight, I'm going to show all of you the only person and people who faction the party is the GOP organization of Madison County. And they're going to own this because I'm going to show you the ridiculous text that Russ has sent out to people. And so I want everybody to understand that I will take ownership of anything I do, but I certainly was not the person who factioned the Republican Party. I'm just the one who began with some other people the movement for change in Madison County from these junkies that are power trip ego nonsense. And I wish I could say 4 language words, but I just can't. So I want to start with a letter was sent out. The first letter that
wait, let me double check just so I make sure. So we've got really two topics.
Two topics
of conversation tonight: Madison County Council and the caucus. Which one are we doing
because
first?
The council wasn't that interesting, and a lot of people. This is more interesting, and some of you have to work tomorrow.
Rock and roll.
So we're going to start with the good stuff first, and then we'll talk about some of the other stuff. So I just want to say that February 5th appears to be when the first letter actually hit the mailboxes, and I think people got it the next day. There was a letter that went out to the elite club of PCs and vice PCs. Now, I say that not in a derogatory way to some of the PCs and vice PCs who are watching tonight, because they all shared, some of them shared this letter with me. So, Russ, the people you think are in your camp, not so sure they're in your camp anymore.
Oh yeah, never. They never. And listen, here's the thing: even people who subscribe to their way of thinking or enjoy their company or whatever, I still get people like that tell me things. So it's like, it don't matter who it is, And I always say, unless you're alone by yourself, if you tell one other person, it's going to get to me. So,
yeah, I think eventually, I think even the people who were in their camp, they're just tired of it. They're tired of how poorly he's making the Republican Party look. And again, I know we've got some Democrats on here. I know we've got some libertarians on here. And I know some have hit me up on social media saying that why am I always talking about Republicans in the county? Because all Republicans hold the seats. If you put somebody in a different party in those seats and they don't do the right thing, I'm going to go off on what they're not doing right. So please don't think I'm a Republican. I've always voted Republican, even though Russ sent out that I didn't vote Republican. I have always voted Republican. So a couple people have reached out to Russ who did not receive it. Now I will tell you, I've talked to probably 24 people today. They have not received the letter. And my response to them was, did you reach out to Russ Willis? And so, or I don't care, reach out to Kelly Hewer. She's supposed to be the transparent one. Somebody needs to message Kelly Hewer. Somebody needs to talk to her and ask her why they haven't received the letter. They need to reach out to Connie Gardner. Why didn't I receive the letter? They need to reach out to Rob Steele. All four of these people make up the organization. And if you continue to tell me that they have no idea what's being sent out, they have no idea what Russ is doing, then they all need to get off of the organization immediately. Like, Kelly, don't even run. Kelly, you need to quit right now while you're ahead. Yeah. Because if you don't know what he's doing and you're the vice chair, you're still not going to know what's going on as the chair. Just saying.
Well, and I want it to be known that you mentioned a couple different people there. You mentioned Russ and Rob and Connie. I also reached out to Kyle Pierce because his name is on the letterhead. Is on one of the letters. And I've known that Kyle has not been the secretary of the Madison County GOP in a long time, but I'm thinking, wait a minute, why are they sending out like defunct old, maybe something happened. Maybe Connie left really quick, or I didn't know. So I actually even reached out to Kyle to find out, like, yo, are you still a part of this? Are you backing what's happening? And yada, yada, yada. And now I'm going to put out here just real quick, and then we can go on the way you wait, whichever way you want to go on this. So I sent the letter, the white letter that went out to Madison County letters. I'm sure we're going to show that at some point. Maybe I think we already did. I don't know. But that letter.
Why how come you're not sharing it on the screen?
You want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen,
I didn't know if we were doing that yet or not.
Absolutely. So, the people need to see this. If you haven't seen the letter, here you go.
So the letter that
you can tell Russ you saw it first on the political spotlight.
Yeah, right. So the letter that I sent to Kyle today was the let me get down here and get Kyle Pierce's letter. So the letter that I sent him was the letter that I had received, which shows it's we
are absolutely a uniparty in Madison.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah. Letterhead of the Madison County Republicans, P.O. Box 765, Anderson, Indiana, February 5th, 2025. And it says, official call of reorganizational meeting. I refer to this as a caucus of the Republican Party. To all Madison County precinct and vice precinct committeemen. Now, they must have a very strange definition of the word all. Because to me, when I hear to all Madison County precinct and vice precinct committeemen, I think that means like all. Like to me, when I see the word ALL, I assume that means all. If you look up the definition of the word all, it is used to refer to the whole quantity or extent of a particular group or thing, all of the people in the organization. So all Madison County Precinct and Vice Precinct committeemen. I, Russell Willis, chairman of the Madison County Republican Party, pursuant to Indiana State Republican Party Rule 4-7, do hereby provide notice to you that on Saturday, March 1st, 2025, which we knew the date, at 9:30 a.m., which we knew the time, in the Mill Creek Civic Center at 403 Main Street, Chesterfield, Indiana, which we thought that we probably knew where, but now we officially have the location. So we have the time, date, and location. There will be a reorganization meeting for the purpose of electing the officers of the Madison County Republican Party, and that is the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and the treasurer. Per party rules, all elected and properly appointed committeemen and vice committeemen are eligible to vote. However, they must be present to vote. No proxies, no exceptions. Sign in with picture ID will begin at 9:30 a.m. The meeting will start promptly at 10:15 a.m. Arrive early enough to be signed in for the 10:15 meeting start. Call me with any questions, 765 623 40 or 4847. I can't tell if that's 40 or 48, but 47. Respectfully, Russ Willis, chairman. And then down at the bottom, it says Russ Willis, chairman, Kelly Hewer, vice chairman, Kyle Pierce, secretary, and Rob Steele, treasurer. And so this went out, and when I received this, I sent a message straight away to Kyle and said, hey, just for clarification, are you supporting what Russ is doing here? Sending out this letter to not everybody. We'll get back to that. Are you backing Kelly Hewer and Rick Gardner for the new party leadership? And he says this to me. The letterhead is 17 months out of date. I don't support using out-of-date letterheads. What a comedy hero this guy is. He's a comic. I've not had a single candidate pitch me directly. No one has earned my vote as of yet. I'm waiting to hear how we're flipping Elwood mayor, Anderson mayor, and city council. Okay. I said, well, hopefully that's, made clear, is what I sent back to him. So that's where we are on this. I hope
if you're watching tonight, Kyle Pierce.
Yeah, I hope that he announces that.
Let me explain to you a couple things. Anderson did redistricting.
Yeah.
That just went through last month. That's how you're flipping Madison County in the city.
Sure.
To Republican. Okay. Yep. I still believe minorities have a right to have equal representation. I don't know that that's going to be the case anymore in the city of Anderson, unfortunately. I haven't watched it close enough, but I have watched everybody's comments about it, good and bad, and I'm just not sure that has. Now, the other thing, Kyle Pierce, if you're watching as a state rep, if you have no idea about Kelly Hewer and Rick Gardner and their disgusting behaviors, nobody should have to pitch you anything. You should be able to make an educated vote based on just who the people are. You cannot compare Dr. Ackerman to Slick Rick. There's no comparison whatsoever. I mean, it's even an insult to me that you would even try to compare them, the two of them. Other than them both being male, that's about the only comparison you have. Yeah. I mean, Rick has screamed, yelled, threw tantrums. I could imagine that Dr. Ackerman, even if he was in a heated debate in the classroom, he would allow people to voice their opinion, and then he would acknowledge their opinion, and then he would state his side of the story. I can't imagine that he would start throwing tantrums, throw people out of the classroom, start, just, telling people that they're the problem, and So the fact that Kyle is supposed to be educated as an attorney, I take great insult to this. Lisa Rinker has been one of unity. Kelly Hewer has condoned all of these things and these shenanigans that Russ has done. I don't see Kelly in the audience arguing or even being supportive of the wrongdoings, right? But you'll see Dr. Ackerman at these meetings. You'll see Lisa Rinker at these meetings. Now they're there to listen to both sides and make educated decisions. So that's the whole part. I mean, and to me, I would think that yes, out of etiquette, Dr. Ackerman and Lisa are going to call him, but they wouldn't even have to call me. I can clearly see the better candidate.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm blocked from Rick Gardner. I don't know if he's been putting anything out on social media or anything, but look at how transparent Dr. Ackerman has been.
Yeah.
I mean, he's telling you day by day, these are my accomplishments. These are the things I've done. He's open for people to ask him questions. I mean, here's the thing. Dr. Ackerman, who's a candidate, has not even been notified with this letter. He's an elected PC.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to say with you,
I don't know if Kyle's not informed or if he's just one that's got these blinders on.
No, he's a state representative. He's a state representative. He's clearly not capable of research.
Yes.
As we have seen from these state representatives. Yeah.
And honestly, Kyle Pierce should have made an announcement today of some kind of statement that says, I'm not
the secretary.
Absolutely. What more does he need to say?
Yeah.
That's it.
I was kind of waiting. That's what I said to him when I said, well, hopefully that'll be made clear. What I meant to him is that you don't condone what's happening here with this, because let's get back to the very first thing that I wanted to talk about that on there. Russ says in that correspondence, this is going to all people, precinct committee people, and it's not. Like you said, not only is Dr. Ackerman a candidate, but he is a precinct committee person, and he did not receive this notification. And so we are aware that it's not just Ackerman or not just Lisa, but there are a large percentage of the fair-minded precinct committee people, the people who've won just recently that want basically the people that Russ cannot control, they did not receive this correspondence. And it's
I'd like to know if Kyle received one.
I certainly hope that I would like to think that Dr. Ackerman is being funny there. I think.
Well, and here's the thing. Even if Kyle's a little busy getting bills passed,
which I assure you he's not, but go ahead.
Here's the bottom line. Kyle has to take care of his own backyard before he can be doing things at the state.
Yeah.
That is the bottom line, people.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they're in session, but you know what? You can't ignore what's going on in the county. And we have a reorganization March 1st. And what has happened today with these letters is wrong. Well, this is the same pink paper that Russ used when he sent out things about me. Who paid for the postage on these letters? I mean, the thing is that, what I'm hearing from Kyle, Kyle, he just didn't do his finances right for 5 years or 50 years. Let's just give him a free pass. It's not a big deal. He violated the law. He wouldn't let somebody in for election canvassing. Let's just say he was guilty and look the other way. It is that attitude right there is why we're in the position we're in right now.
Yeah.
Kyle is a state representative and he needs to behave like one. He is an attorney by trade. He needs to behave like one.
Yeah.
And no, I am not going to give him a free pass because I heard him speak at the Tea Party and he wanted to talk about, before he ever got elected, how he believes in term limits and people need to do the right thing and he wants transparency. Well, here we are, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yes, the days are long, but you know what? I work a full-time job.
No.
I don't have any sympathy.
Their days aren't long. Their days aren't long. They work.
It doesn't take but a few seconds to post that says, Russ, this is wrong. Right. It's not acceptable. And you would think as an attorney, he wouldn't have want to be misrepresented.
No.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to question him as a professional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the reality of it, people. And so I'm not going to give him a free pass on this.
Yeah.
If he wants to represent the people, then represent them. And so that's my thought process with all of this. If I were you, I would call Kyle Pierce. I would send him messages, and I'm going to make sure his phone number's out there. He is a public servant.
Oh, yeah.
He still has to take care of what's going on here at home just as much as he has to do at the State House.
Well, he's a representative. His title is says it all. He's a representative, but he's not a representative of Indianapolis. He is a representative of the district that he's in. What is it? District 36, 35? 31,
36, but
36, whatever it is, whatever his number is. Now, Kyle called me back right away this afternoon before he had to go back into session. So, all right, we've heard this. Number one, Lisa has now reached out to him, and Lisa and Kyle have spoke. So that's good. That's good. They've talked, and from what I've heard, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but from a conversation I was having earlier, kind of like a couple different people were involved. I think Lisa has said that they have made a plan to talk later this week, still, like maybe tomorrow or the next day. And Dr. Ackerman has said that after he and Lisa talks, that Dr. Ackerman's going to reach out to Kyle, and that's good. And so they're talking to him, and I applaud that, and I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he is talking to them. So I will applaud him for at least talking with them. So that's good. I will say that, but yeah. So that's good. I'm glad that they are talking to him.
I'm just going to say this. Not that I'm elected official, but I have run for offices. Dr. Ackerman has run for things. Lisa has run for things. And if we were in elected positions, I think sometimes we reach out to people and say, you know, I'm excited to hear that you're running for that seat. This is exciting times. If you need me, I'm in session, but I just want you to let you know that I am watching and I'm actively participating in what's going on here. So let's get together soon because my schedule's crazy. The phone works both ways.
Sure. Absolutely.
You know, and so no, I'm not cutting Kyle any breaks. I just want everybody to know I'm not doing it.
Well, and it's important to know, I don't want to make it seem like they're like way swamped, because first and foremost, ahead of this year, they were only working 3 or 4 days, mostly 3 a week for like 3 months. Then this year at the beginning, they were only working 2 days a week for, a first couple of weeks. And now they're only up to like 3 days. So they're not like crazy swamped.
Right.
He has time to pick up the phone and make a phone call, make a text, and check in with what's going on, because he is a representative of that area. So it sounds like they're talking. It sounds like Lisa and Kyle and Dr. Ackerman and Kyle are talking. So that is a good thing. The other big issue here is the fact that Russ is doing what Russ does when he's sending out, multiple correspondence, telling half of the people one thing and the other half something else. And that's a problem. That is a major problem.
Text message that a PC has reached out to Russ, and this is one of his responses. Now we've got some other responses to share with you.
Yeah.
And so it's to me, the only person who's factioned the Republican Party is Russ Willis. Russ, you put Kyle Pierce in a horrible position.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do believe it was intentional. And the reason why I believe it's intentional is because Kyle, since he's a state rep, has higher clout than Connie Gardner. Russ
Sure.
knows exactly what he's doing. This
Certainly.
wasn't a lack of attention to detail. This wasn't, oh, I didn't want to print new letterhead. This was all about the mind manipulation and false reporting by Russ Willis.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is all calculated. The people who are getting the letters, this is all calculated. And you'll see how calculated it is as soon as Chris puts up this text message.
Here we go. Right here. Okay. So here's
This
this
is
text
just
message.
tonight, 16 minutes before the show.
Yeah. And so this says, and now let me, just for the record, we're obviously protecting people here, but
because I'm sure he sent the same response to others.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, people.
Yeah. So just FYI, what are you pointing to? I don't know what you're saying.
Is there something over on the side?
I'm looking. I don't. Oh yeah. Let's see if it is. Yeah, it might be. Here we go. Is this better? This might be better. Maybe. Okay. So basically what this is saying here is saying, the person up here in blue, okay, right here, should have received information by mail yet. Okay. So then we just blocked out the name there. Last of the letters being mailed this week. In the gray is Russ. Last of the letters being mailed this week. Well, I don't understand. Normally when you mail a large mailing out like this, the more that you mail, like in bulk, you get a discount. There's no reason to do multiple mailings.
The fine print.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah. It's called 10-day letter. Party rules required letter to be sent 10 prior to meeting, 10 days prior to meeting. State suggested to drop them February 19th. I'm dropping a week earlier. Feel free to call with any questions.
And that's only because people have contacted the state on how corrupt Russ Willis is.
Yeah. And so what he's telling you here is the letters that he's going to send to the people he can't control, he's dropping at the end of this week. But what he mailed out to everybody else, hell, they got it on the 5th. So he mailed it on Monday. He mailed it on the 3rd. So, he didn't really speak to that. Now, this says, this is a Facebook Messenger. It says, several that have not received the letter regarding the meeting March 1st. State party rules require letter to drop 10 days prior to meeting. Thus, it's called a 10-day letter. State recommends dropping it February 19th. Okay, Russ, but what about the one that went out before that, bro? Why did some already receive the letter? And so, that's what.
And this is just the shenanigans that you can continue to watch, you continue to see, and you continue to get exhausted from. Again, yes, was I harsh on Kyle Pierce? I'm going to be harsh on Kyle Pierce.
Sure.
Right? We vote for Kyle Pierce on the promises that he tells us he's going to keep. Well, we've got problems in Madison County right now.
Yeah.
He needs to do something about it.
Yeah.
So I think that, Lisa did a great job on the Mitch morning, Hank or whatever, FM, whatever that, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But she did a great job on that, and we'll get that out where people can listen to it on social media too. You know what I really wonder with Lisa Rinker? I wonder if Russ tried the shenanigans that he did with Troy and I for coroner. So Tracy Miller was she was a journalist, investigative journalist for the Herald Bulletin, and she was a wonderful journalist. But she was ran off like the other females at the Herald Bulletin because she enjoyed writing the truth, actually investigating and doing her research. So she was doing an article on Troy and I about the misappropriation and all the things from the previous corner. And Russ called her, and I've got recordings, I'd have to dig them back up, of him calling Tracy and threatening her and telling her, don't publish this stuff. These people are no good. They're making all these stories up. They're lying to you. They're not who they appear to be. And she's like, but I've got the receipts. I've got that the previous corner was buying, makeup, embalming stuff for the funeral home. And they've got the receipts that they were paid.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, this is legitimate stuff that I've got to report on. And that's Russ. And I wonder if Russ tried to sabotage Lisa from speaking on Mitch's show. But that is who Russ will do everything in his power to sabotage anybody he can.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of say in what Ken Delabastide publishes. A lot.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And in the Herald Bulletin. So with now that everybody's pretty clear that letters have gone out, it hasn't been done correctly. There's also a rule. I forget what the rule is about the caucus sheet on everybody who's a precinct committee member. I don't think Dr. Ackerman or Lisa still have that either. Well, here's the thing. He announced the place and everything back on February 5th when he wrote the letter. So they should have that now because he's announced it. And they still don't have those, right? But the paper did publish an article today, and Lisa was partially above the fold. Now, she wasn't all the way above the fold like everybody else, or like Kelly was. Let me send you the front page of the paper today so we can put this up for the public to see.
Man, I was stupid and I went ahead and got a subscription to the paper.
Well, I got it.
Ignorantly enough. Okay, here we go. So, here's the
you just didn't know you were going to be so involved in Madison County.
Yeah, right. Okay, we can see her here. 10%.
They're partially above the fold, but they're on the side. But it's a win. I mean,
it's front page. Yeah, I was happy.
It got a larger section than I thought, so
I was happy with it. Because what you got to think about is number one, where is it in the hard copy? A front page, above the fold, yada yada yada. But you also now in the digital age, you've got to wonder, where is it at? On the online version, is it easy to find? Is it within the first? Is it in the first bam?
No, I didn't find it on the online one very easy.
I found it, and so here it is. It's in a pretty good place online too. And so it says Rinker wants to make changes in Madison County GOP operations. Okay, and can you remind me what the headline said? Can you go back and look and tell me what the headline said?
Yeah, I sent you a picture in Messenger
of the other one.
Of what it looks like in Messenger. But this.
No. Yeah, it says it looks the same. What I'm talking, it says the same thing. Rinker eyes changed the local GOP operation. No, I'm talking about the thing that he said about Kelly. What did the paper say about Kelly?
What, new leadership on tap?
Oh, that's what it was. So it was so look here. That's the thing. Listen to these two headlines. So the headline on Kelly Hewer was new leadership on tap. To me, that sounds like it is
It's a done deal.
Statement of fact. It's a done deal. This is Rinker wants to make changes in Madison County GOP operations. That's strange to me reading those. So going on here, this was put out yesterday. And so we've got the pictures of the elephant and the donkey. I don't know why this is talking about Republicans here. All right. Lisa Rinker wants to make changes in how the Madison County Republican Party operates with an emphasis on communication. Rinker is running for county chairwoman against Kelly Hewer to replace Russ Willis, who is not seeking a fourth term. It goes on as soon as the ball of death stops here to say current Madison County, and we're going to get it stopped doing the ball of death any minute. Okay. Current Madison County Commissioner Rick Gardner is running to serve as Hewer's vice chairman. He formerly served on the county council and 2 terms as county auditor. The party caucus is set for March 1st at 9:30 a.m. at a location to be determined, which we now know is Chesterfield Mill Creek Civic Center. Rinker ran in the 2024 primary, losing to incumbent John Richwine for a seat on the Madison County Board of County Commissioners. After the primary, I talked to a lot of people who were blocked from the Republican Party Facebook page, she said. It's extremely difficult to run an effective campaign without support from the party. I wanted to continue to be involved and make significant changes to the party organization, Rinker said. I want party unity, and there shouldn't be factions in the party. Everyone should feel, he wrote fell, everyone should feel like they are involved. She wants to unify the party and bring new voices to the GOP organization. I want to encourage strong candidates who feel like they are part of the party, Rinker said. She wants to see more precinct committeemen elected and not have people appointed who don't live in the precincts. The committeemen are supposed to know their precincts the best, Rinker said. You can't have a strong party unless you work with the party workers. She was surprised during her campaign in 2024 to learn that there is no young Republican organization in the county. Rinker said that every person running for a Republican Party nomination should hear from the party chairman to know the guidelines and rules of the party. She said it's important that the party have a headquarters location included on a list of priorities. I am optimistic going into the caucus, Rinker said. I'm working hard to get support from the precinct committeemen and vice committeemen. She is running with John Ackerman, who could serve as vice chairman. I reached out to John, Rinker said. We share the same vision for the party. Ackerman, a strong supporter of the Madison County Tea Party, currently serves on the Anderson Township Advisory Board. I got to know John through the Tea Party, Rinker said. We both want to strive for fairness, respect, and how we treat other people. Gardner, in an announcement, said he's been involved with the Republican Party for more than 15 years. I'm committed to serving Madison County in the leadership role of vice chair to make a positive impact, he said in a press release. We have a great responsibility and opportunity to continue to grow the party, welcome the new members, and collaborate with fellow Republicans to serve. Now, that's the part I have an issue with, because Ackerman didn't get a shot in Kelly's piece. You know, like, I don't understand this. He could have written his own article about Gardner, but he needed to just get that couple lines in there, because it can't ever just be about what it's supposed to be about. And the other thing that I want to say here, because I hear people say this a lot, and I've heard it in Delaware County, I've heard it in Henry County, I've heard it in Marion County. Kelly brings up, first and foremost, the people being blocked on the Facebook. And I hear a lot of people say, well, this is just nitpicking minor things. You know, we're what is this, high school? We're talking about being blocked on social media. But the problem is it's not just about being blocked. That is a symptom of the overlying problem of division and gatekeeping. The problem isn't blocking people on Facebook. The problem is the mindset that we don't have to allow you in because you don't agree with us, because you believe differently than we believe, because we don't want to welcome you in because we want to maintain power. That's the problem. The Facebook is just one of those things. The other issue is not giving all candidates the walking list. It's not giving all candidates the precinct committee list. Everybody in the Republican Party should have a booklet, and everybody in the Republican Party should have everybody's phone number and contact information. That should not. I understand that you might not publish it out there for the world or for the Democrats or whatever, but you should publish it for Republican people coming in. I don't understand not doing that. And so that's the overlying issue.
Yeah, Karen Drake, she sits here and she says, well, why isn't there email? Oh, believe me, there's an email going out. And I know that for a fact, because when I went for the caucus on the corner, absolutely was there, and there were emails flying with certain PCs and vice PCs, but not to all of them. And in those emails, it was talking about things about me that weren't true.
Mm-hmm.
And that was being put out by our own party chair.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it has. I sent you my Facebook page, Chris, if you can share it. It's in Messenger. I just want to point out a couple of things from my post today to show, you know, I'm over the Herald Bulletin. I got some huge issues with the Herald Bulletin that happened this weekend. And so, but I'm not going to take us away from the project we've got on hand, and I will deal with that other stuff after March 1. So if anybody's read the paper this weekend, don't think I'm letting that go, because I'm not.
So,
but
what are we looking at here first?
I sent you the Facebook post. So can you bring up my Facebook post right there in Messenger?
Yeah, here we go.
So I just want everybody to know that, you know, somebody on this thread sent me what we really should call the Herald Bulletin. And so I took that and I ran with it. I don't know if she wants to be identified, but it was I can't take the credit for the title. It was a great title that she gave the Herald Bulletin. Is that my post?
Yeah, I'm trying to get her pulled up here.
So,
Kate, here we go. There we go.
You know, I don't know why Ken gets his rocks off that he always has to talk about losses when it comes to the other Republican Party, I guess you could say. But he always wants to put that in, right, and talk about that. And so I listed in here, I didn't understand why, you know, Ken didn't do a piece that showed where they were meeting, what time they were meeting, and all those good things, because it really should be posted, right?
Yeah.
And Ken should have done the investigation because the letter was already out. But
sure.
He didn't put that in the letter. But I put in here, you know, why didn't you talk about, you know, Rick lost the mayor's race?
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
That was a smaller group of people because the people knew what Slick Rick was about. Why didn't they talk about, you know, him not paying his property taxes? And why didn't they talk about, you know, how he had his wages garnished to pay that? Why didn't we talk about how he didn't put the correct budget in? I mean, Rick is there's no comparison between Dr. Ackerman and Rick. I mean, this is awful, Madison County. You have the potential to have a great team of leaders in front of you. Yeah. But we're going to see what this county is made of here in short order in a couple weeks. But as you go to the first picture, I want to show you the front page of the paper.
Well, I don't know if you want to read this real quick. This whole thing.
Yeah, you can read it.
It just says, this is Catherine's post. She says, "I'm not sure who wants to keep the corruption of the swamp in power more. The Herald bullshit, which is just great thing, or the Snake and Chameleon Russ Willis and Kelly Hewer. Fun fact, Lisa Rinker and Dr. John Ackerman made the front page news. This is the team that needs to win. But the paper worked really hard at throwing in Slick Rick and Kelly. Why didn't the paper point out Slick Rick's loss when he ran for mayor, or the 2 times he failed to submit the correct budget in 2023-2024, or his delinquent property taxes and wage garnished? Or how about they both shut down the county fair? How about they both shut down the county fair booth because they only wanted their Republicans to work it? Or how about Kelly Hewer placing her article in envelopes to notify who they believe are their only loyal votes, yet voters failing to notify all 224 PCs and vice PCs? Who paid for the postage and the articles to go out at once? At the time of the mailing, Russ and Kelly and the organization knew of 4 candidates. Why hasn't Kelly or Slick Rick offered up the official PC list to the other candidates? I mean, they are using it already. Exactly. Electing Kelly and Slick Rick will be a continuation of the corrupt and illegal behavior. Why didn't Ken Delabastide and the Herald Bullshit put in the headlines the meeting place and the time has changed? Mill Creek Civic Center, and if I were you, I would still be there by 9:30, Saturday, March 1st, 2025, because no effort is put into reporting for the people. This county desperately needs change from what appears to be a very misleading effort of journalistic paper to the most deceitful and crooked elected officials. You know that Commissioner John Richwine, who supposedly won the election, look at his atrocious tantrums in the meetings, just like Slick Rick's, and he's trying to ram a noise ordinance through the county, while Slick Rick sits there with Olivia Pratt and they do nothing to stop it. Let's go, Madison County PCs and vice PCs. It's time to vote change. It's time to do what the people have elected you to do. That is represent the people. Stop recycling and re-electing the abusive, power-hungry junkies who refuse to move this county forward. Vote Rinker and Dr. Ackerman for a change.
And did you notice not one time did he address Dr. Ackerman with his appropriate title in education?
Yeah.
I mean, this in itself is a problem, Madison County, and it needs to stop. Listen, I don't feel any of us put our pants on any differently, but education is discipline. It is time commitment, and we need to honor that when somebody earns those degrees. And when you see a journalist who has no respect for the people who are running to show what they have achieved in their lives, but yet you want to bring in Kelly and Slick Rick, I don't know. Look at this article where it says Rinker ice changes to the local GOP operations. And right underneath that, it's Kelly Hewer.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you writing for?
You were also running for party chairperson. Yeah. They right? didn't say that when it said Hewer on tap for local party and Rinker also running.
Right.
And
so I just want people to understand when it comes to the paper, believe about none of it almost.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know that. And so, but you can read the full article. It's on my page. I wanted that all to be there for the people to be able to see. There's the letter for you to be able to peruse as well.
Oh, and there's the pink sheet.
Which
was the first article.
Yes. So it's all there for everybody. And then I did give you in Messenger how this is an interesting thing just for anybody who's out there who has time on their hands. It looks like on 4:00, Madison County. Oh, maybe that was today.
Today.
Tuesday. Madison County Public Defender Board meeting, 4 p.m. Madison County government. I've never been to one. It's just kind of interesting that they have that.
Yeah.
And what was more interesting is that the prosecutor's office was not there today, and they sent in somebody to sit in for them. I don't know. So, if they were there at 4, they should have been there at 6. Maybe they were busy in Washington again. I have no idea.
Right.
So, And this is just to show you the members on Russ's page. It's supposed to be open to the public. It's a political page.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, if you're watching this, I don't know what more I can show you that the better candidates are Lisa and Dr. Ackerman.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's who the winners are.
Yeah.
And that's who's going to move the county forward. Now, I will say this. I got word late tonight that Russ has already called telling people that his people are going to win at all costs. It doesn't matter who's running.
That's probably true.
So if this is the case, I'm telling you guys right now, you better have some watchers in that room. Because if we have 68 people that we ran and won, I don't know how you do math, but that's more than half.
Well, I'm telling you, don't get there at 9:30.
He changed the time to 10:15.
I don't care. If you're voting, if you're a precinct committee person or vice precinct committee person from Madison County, and you can't get up and get your ass to that place by 9 o'clock, shame on you. You need to be there. Don't go there without your ID. Listen, you are not called on, but very seldomly. And this is the time for the big thing. God forbid someone's had a death in the family or someone's gotten ill or something. I get it. Shy of those things, you better have your ass at this place on the 1st.
Well, I got another.
You better get there early.
I got another text to show. I got a couple texts to show you. Breaking news right now.
Okay. Are we? Is it going up right now?
Breaking news right now. We know why Rodney Cummings was not at the meeting tonight for his own department.
Okay. Let me get this up here. Was he okay, let me get this going here. Click.
This is so funny. We pay people too much money in this county, people.
No.
Too much money.
No.
Yes. Is this good? Is this good? You got to put it up there. It's great.
Hold on.
Right there. Look who's sitting courtside at the Pacers game. $4,000 a game seats. This is why Rodney wasn't there tonight. This was sent to me by someone else. There you go. And I forget how much they got in grant money tonight, but he couldn't show up for that.
It'd really be a shame that he got the gun out of his pocket and shot that guy. You know?
So now that's some funny stuff.
God.
Let's talk a little bit about the rules. I don't know if Lisa's with us and Dr. Ackerman's still with us, but let's talk a little bit about the rules of the meeting. Okay. These are rules of engagement, everybody. And so Kristopher's going to put up, and we're going to dissect this. Okay. They're in the overlays, Kristopher.
Okay.
This was somebody talking to Russ about VPCs and PCs. Okay. So this is what he says. This is today. Vice committeemen cannot vote in caucus unless appointed a proxy by precinct committeemen. Tell me what felony I've committed. What the Grant County judge did, I don't recall the specific. It's been a while. Don't know about what you claim my daughter did to you. She is 40 plus. I don't control her. She stuck me with over $80,000. I finally stopped that bleeding. Bottom line is, I don't understand your attacks on me. I understand your pain, but in no way, shape, or form my fault. Take care. Be safe. Now, I don't know why you talk about your daughter in the middle of all this, right? But here's the bottom line, people. The vice committeemen and the precinct committeemen must be present.
Yeah.
There will be no proxies. You have to show up to vote.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what he's telling people. In the past, in some caucuses, you can do proxies, and not for this. You have to be present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if there are seats open, he can appoint people in those seats. Okay. But it's too late now. So say that Chris and I are a PC and vice PC together, and Chris can't show up on March 1. He can't put somebody in Chris's seat. This is a whole different.
Not just if you're not there, he can't appoint. If the seat is empty, he can appoint somebody, but I don't think he can for March 1st. But if I'm elected, if I'm elected in precinct 5 in Anderson, and I just don't show up because I'm at a Pacers game, he can't appoint somebody into my seat. I'm just not there and I don't vote.
And I believe in the past, he has done that. Like, okay, so you can't come because you're sick. So he gets somebody and puts them in your seat real quick.
No, I'm telling you, if people there, if he tries pulling that shit, throw a fit, do something, call me, we'll get somebody from the state, because that he cannot do that. If you're elected and you don't show up, they can't be like, okay, we're gonna put someone in your seat really quick, or we're gonna kick you out. It's just like it's just like Dr. Green tonight. He was sick, so he didn't go to the Madison
No,
County Council.
he had a schedule.
Wasn't there? Yeah, whatever the deal was, he was absent. He was absent, and so any vote that they took, it wasn't like they could have just filled someone in a seat. It was just a 6-0 vote instead of 7. So yeah, that does not work that way. If he's doing that, it's a screwed up deal, and that doesn't count. And we need to make a think.
Now I want to bring this back up here. The deadline was December 15th for appointments. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Just call me Dr. Obvious. We would have no idea who's appointed and not appointed because nobody has the master list. So he could be changing that up right now. And what would we ever know? How do we ever have that to compare to anything? We don't. This is why they don't let these things out. This is why he doesn't want you to have it in the appropriate time, because he wants to always be able to manipulate. Now, is that against the law? I don't know. It says it's against the law, right? But people, he is ethically and morally bankrupt.
Yeah.
Along with Kelly Hewer, Connie Gardner, Rob Steele, all of them are bankrupt morally and ethically. They will do anything.
Yeah, that's right.
They will sell their souls to keep these positions. It's crazy. You know, one time somebody gave me this advice, and they said, let me tell you something. Those council seats are like, they only pay like $15,000, $16,000 a year. They said people will literally kill for those seats.
Yeah.
To have that power. They will do anything to destroy an opponent just to keep that power. Now I know what that was told to me in 2020. I didn't understand. I'm thinking to myself, these are just like, piddly jobs. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
And so you can read this part. I asked her if I could share this. So this is totally okay.
Then explain to me how I voted in a caucus. I don't know if you made me advice or what. You were the one that appointed me, whatever you appointed me, so I could vote in your caucus. But you also deny committing a felony. If nothing else was just in the paper, I'm not claiming anything. She just had 7 invoices, and instead of paying them, she blocked me. That happens to be how I support my kids. It tells me a lot about her, and if one of my kids did that, I'd be very disappointed in them, no matter what age. That's not how I teach my kids to act. What attacks on you? The truth? You seem to have an issue with the truth.
House is always the victim.
Yeah, well, always, no matter
Always
what.
the victim.
Yeah. Now, in this thing, I don't know if this person might be talking about a caucus for
other, they are different
yeah.
from, right? But I think she also participated in the reorganization ones too.
Well, if that's in case the fact, that he would have been wrong in doing that.
Yeah,
And I
and
don't put
so-
him past that because he plays by his own rules and his own,
and everybody's too
standards
afraid to question him on it or too
Well,
afraid to challenge him on it.
We cannot have that going into the first. People have to be there and they have to be willing to stand. This is the day and the time and the moment for the good people that ran, the people who went through because listen, it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass being this. You're not paid anything. It's you got to deal with all this bullshit. It's not a fun. It's not a sexy job. It's not like cool and powerful and look at me. I'm the whatever. It's really the pain in the ass, nothing job, but it's so important. It is so bloody important. And this is your time to shine. Yeah. Yes. If this screws up, if this is foiled, if he cheats or whatever happens, if he cheats, this has got to be like the revolution type of thing, where, okay, the stink has to be made so big that if he cheats, it's all, figuratively speaking, blown up. You have to fight this and you can't let it go. And you can't let it go and say, we'll fix it later. You got to make the commotion there. Do not leave with it being messed up. You got to fight it and cause chaos or whatever. And someone's got to be willing to do that. This is the day. But if they somehow overcome this opportunity,
we're hosed.
It's going to be bad for a long time.
We're hosed in Madison County. And I'll tell you, if I was Lisa Rinker and I was Dr. Ackerman, once they begin to line up with because people were asking on this reorganization, what actually takes place in the room.
Okay.
And I think what happened with me during the caucus is they're given a piece of paper, they go in a line, and then they just drop it in a box in this open room. Okay. If that's the same way they're going to do this, I'm going to suggest that Lisa and John walk up to the table and ask that the boxes be open just prior to people putting the ballots in there. Because you never know what they're doing while the people are up giving their presentations. And you think, well, we already checked the box, so it's fine. Well, somebody could have done something. And yes, that is the deceit with this GOP that's currently in place. And you're going to have to think of every trick of the trade that they are going to do. I would even encourage you, if you are an appointed vice, your PC needs to bring the paperwork documentation that was submitted to the state and when it was stamped. And you need to present that at the door. Listen, Kyle Pierce is a PC. I imagine he's going to be there. Kyle Hutford is a PC. I imagine he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Laureen White is a PC. She is going to be there. They are all elected. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They're all attorneys.
And listen, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm sorry, Lorraine. To hell with those other people. If something starts going sideways, get to Lorraine and tell her to call me. We'll figure something out. To hell with Kyle and to hell with Hupfer, because they're idiots in my opinion. Whatever. They don't have anything. I don't have anything to do with them. They're idiots. I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. And I apologize, Lorraine. She shouldn't have to shoulder that weight, but call me or whatever if something starts going sideways, because I will call people. I'll call people at the state level. We will throw a fit, but you just cannot leave out of there with things being sideways. Because if you leave there with things being sideways or with them doing weird shit and you don't stand up for it right then and there, it'll be a done deal.
Well, and like Cheryl's asking, can the public be present? if Russ would allow that, but he's not going to allow that. So, but you could stand outside as people are walking in and ask people to vote. You could be holding up signs just like people are going into the election area to vote.
Yeah, I've not seen or heard anything where they said that people can't go. I mean,
Russ won't let them
you
go.
could go, but they won't let that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, but you could be outside. I mean, looking at some of the PCs that are going in, I mean, you could do that. I mean, that's all, and so, for me, if I've done nothing else, we've educated the masses so people understand. I bet a lot of people will remember to put in for PC. If you're not registered to vote, again, register to vote now. You want to help? Talk to your family and friends, register them to vote. You can do it right on your phone in 90 seconds. So those are some things that, and this was more of the exciting topic tonight rather than the council meeting. And we'll talk about that. But I hope that at some way we've informed and people are listening. And I didn't faction the Republican Party. All I did was bring awareness to it with some other people. And Russ has always had it factioned.
Katherine doesn't live in Delaware County. Katherine doesn't live in Marion County. Katherine doesn't live in Randolph or Henry. And these same problems are going on in every one of those counties. Same problems going on at the state level. Same problems going on at the federal. Look what's going on at the federal level.
You'd be surprised. People will say, why do we want to know what's going on in Madison County? Because it's happening in your neighborhood too.
Yeah.
You just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do about parking. People may need to carpool. I don't know what they're going to do, but it'll be an interesting turnout. You know what I'm excited to see? I'm excited to see what the attendance is like.
Are you a precinct committee person?
Nope.
Oh, you messed up. You should have done that.
But you know what? They can make me a watcher.
Absolutely.
And that would be a lot more fun. So I'm just saying, and I do think that Lisa and Dr. Ackerman are going to bring home the win. I really do.
I think they got it. I think they have it.
But we're going to keep the gas on the pedal until then. Lots of people have come back and made comments about what a great show you had Friday night, and they were able to see both of them in a different light. And so I've had lots of great reviews from PCs and vice PCs who watched that.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So if there's anything else anybody wants to talk about, I'm sure there'll be more things that Russ will do in the meantime to the PCs and the vice PCs. But we'll keep bringing it to your attention. And then we can talk about the council meeting tonight.
Dun, dun, dun. Madison County Council meeting.
We do need a DOGE in Madison County.
A dog?
Yeah.
Doge. DOGE.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need that in Madison County.
Yeah.
People would go to jail.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Happy birthday, Shalila.
Who let the Doge out? Well, happy birthday, Shalila. That's good.
So the council meeting was a bit boring tonight.
Really?
We knew that they weren't going to let Jodi do too much, right? Again, I'm surprised that Jodi took vice in that because she wanted to be president. She didn't do it last year. She certainly had the experience, was the most qualified person, and they gave it to Green. And then he just turns around and doesn't show up at the next meeting. That's a little off the chain, but it is what it is.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, we're going to have to really start counting that because I've heard from people saying that he will be absent a lot.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot that he will treat people pretty horribly. So it's just a matter of time before he's exhausted from all of this. And soon he's got the gavel in hand and how he behaves. So this will be interesting to watch, but Jodi did a fair job tonight with the council meeting, even though Rob Steele wanted to run the meeting and tell everybody how it was going to.
That about?
I have no idea. Any other time Rob can't speak into the microphone, but tonight he could.
He was loud and proud.
It's like it's like there's some enjoyment from these men to put women like in their place or to talk to them and tell them how to do their job. I don't know, but there's something weird about these men on this bench.
Well, that's the thing. And somebody, I don't know if it was McFadden. Somebody said, is Rob pissed? He seems like he's pissed. And I was like, yeah, you mean like as in the British use of that word, you mean drunk? Yes, I'm pretty sure that he probably is.
Oh, he was turning pretty red,
but
he was not real happy.
Yeah, right.
He
was not doing well.
Yeah, and so then when he got voted, I mean, I was even surprised to see the four women voted together.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan voted with the four women, and Steele was a lone ranger.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Steele makes it all the way to 27 when his seat is up. He isn't rerunning. Word is neither is Likens. So it'll be interesting if they throw in the towel early. Diana, she seems like one of those people who's going to go kicking and screaming, and you'd pull her by the hair and she'd still be crawling to the podium just because, well, she can. Because remember, people, actually, the Likens, I did check on that. They are in Anderson 5-5.
Okay.
And they did not run. Kevin Solk ran. That was originally what was going to be my area, but then I came back to lapel. But and what happened is they didn't run for PC, but they both were assigned as PCs in two different areas because Russ wants to make sure he's got those guaranteed PCs, right?
Yeah, sure.
So then Wes, which is a little freaky, took Olivia Pratt. And then Diana took a female from Alexandria, and they're in the inner city.
Yeah.
So even Wes and Diana will break away from each other to secure anything for this party. This is the reality of it, people. So, so it was weird to see how people voted tonight. Jonathan appeared to be more on board with his mother-in-law tonight, voting her way.
Yeah.
It was a strange thing. I think the strangest thing of all of this, and I haven't talked to Christy or Bethany or anybody, but they've allowed Diana Likens to look through all these attorneys and then give what her thoughts are about these attorneys. And still, they're thanking her for all this work. Well, you guys, I'm not really sure how much work she's actually done that is meaningful because you guys still couldn't decide. If she had given you something actually very meaningful, you guys would have all been able to make an educated decision tonight. Now, I don't know about you, but it doesn't appear that Diana has actually gone to meet with these people, gone to their office, shaken their hand, which if I was given this project, that's what I would do.
Yeah, no,
most of us
seems as though she's, right.
Yeah, I have a CV. Okay, for some that don't know, that's a curriculum vitae because I have all this education, right? It's pages long, several pages long. Once I submit that to somebody, then I get an interview. These guys are all sitting up there going, well, we read through the paperwork, but what's it matter if we've met the person?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You want to meet these people. People can look and be a Harvard graduate and look amazing on paper.
Yeah.
But could be a buffoon in the courtroom. Or maybe they don't have the time to commit to doing the job and doing it well. It just amazes me that they're looking everywhere outside of the county for an attorney, which I'm okay with, I guess. But they don't have any vested interest in the county.
Yeah.
And it's a double-edged sword when I say that because you might get an attorney who's so vested that they'll sell out the people in order to help you, right? So it's a double-edged sword. But I just want you to know that this was so strange. And then suddenly they found somebody who I think is in the county. I couldn't catch the guy's name that they're talking about that they want to look into further. And then what really blew my mind was Jonathan Culp's like, well, invite him here and they can all we can all meet them.
This
right?
killed me.
And so then they asked the sitting attorney who's sitting in for Ted Nolting, because that firm is done and Ted Nolting's never coming back to this county again.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why Ted didn't finish this out, but whatever. He's this young man has sat in.
He got tired of us telling him he looked like a meth addict.
Well, Kowalski came in the past, the young attorney. Yeah. Well, he's had his full, because a couple of times he got stuck there till after midnight. And I think Kowalski said, Ted, I ain't doing this no more.
Yeah.
So anyways, as they sit up here, they're all looking at Jonathan like he's got 5 heads. Like, what do you mean you want to meet these people? Rob Steele's like, you see the documentation on the paper. I mean, they have an attorney. So whoever's the cheapest, that's really who we should go with. Well, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Cheap isn't always the best route.
Right.
Right. So I was amazed. And then they're like, well, I don't know if they should come here and I'll be here at the same time. Well, this attorney says, no, that's kind of common practice.
Yeah. Yes. So crazy.
They
kept saying, well, it'll be awkward for them. And I'm like, no, that's how Muncie and Anderson and normal cities do it. These people are grown ass men and women.
Here's what's interesting. Is it awkward when they go into a courtroom and one sits at the defendant and one sits at the plaintiff? It's what they do.
Yeah, man.
If you invite these people to your public meeting so you can meet them and they don't come, there should tell you probably shouldn't hire them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So this was, I just sat in the audience just shaking my head.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away by all of this.
The approval of minutes, has everybody had an opportunity?
So we're going to move her to the March meeting. The other one, commissioners pass an ordinance.
Okay. And then can we put this, I tried to get a decent picture.
Of this thing?
Yes. But I was filming, I was trying to do 2 things at once. But let me ask you something on that one.
Give me a second here. You sent me a couple pictures. Can you send it to Messenger?
Yeah, I'm sending it right now. I did not understand this. Okay, when I say that, people, I'm saying that gently, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So we get up there and Todd says, now, hey, everybody, in May, we're going to have this deficit of 1.5 million. Thinking to myself, now, wait a minute. If you had a checkbook and in May you were bouncing checks, but then you were going to recoup that in June, what on earth are you talking about? So, yeah, billing the minutes, that's the thing. So I sent it to you in Messenger, but that was the weirdest thing that I'm like, what are you talking about that you've exhausted? Plus, Todd Dingleberry, you have how much in the rainy day fund?
Yeah.
This makes no sense to me. Here's the other thing. If you know you're going to have a deficit in May, then maybe all these new money requests that will be coming in until then shouldn't get approved. Because these guys are asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. But if you look at the bottom column of May, it's got parentheses around it. And he says, but once everybody pays their property taxes, then we'll be back up. It looks like they do that in November and they do that in May. It's weird.
Okay.
And they say it's all for property taxes. Well, here's a news flash, people. Maybe if Todd Kolb and Rick Gardner paid their property taxes on time, we wouldn't have a deficit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lead by example, people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can blow that up or.
I'm trying to see here.
Or I take a picture and send it to you that's blown up.
You can what?
I blew it up and I'll blow it up and send it to you. See if that makes sense to you.
Let's see. Oh, come on. So while I'm getting
You need to get Starlink. You might have better connection.
Well, I do all right. I think it's like because I think what happens is it's like when you come on and you're like sending me everything, like, you know what I mean? It's all that different stuff. Because normally when I'm by myself, I don't have any problem.
I know. I
blame it on you. Okay, let's see here. So it's in this. Let me minus this down and see if I can load it up.
So I sent you close-up pictures of those two areas.
Okay.
But he says it all has to do with the property taxes. That's why we'd be in negatives in those areas.
You sent those where?
In Messenger.
Okay. You mean on text message or on Messenger? I don't
Messenger.
have anything in Messenger.
I'll send it to Kate.
Like, send it to the group.
Okay. Is there anything in Messenger?
No.
Well, it says I sent it.
All right, hold on.
No, I sent it to Kate. Now I'll send it to the group.
Okay, no, Kate's sending it to me. I'm getting it from Kate. I don't know where you send stuff to.
Sometimes it just goes out in its own little world out there.
I think it would be helpful if you.
Elon has it because he wants to look at our numbers.
Yeah. No, you know what it is? It's the Facebook thing where they have shit. Like, you have to enter passwords to get it now. It's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Kate, did you see it?
All right, I got it.
Okay.
Let's blow this up. So I got this, and we'll try to get this. Okay. So I got this now.
Yeah. So see right there in the May, it's got a negative. He said, but once we get the property taxes, all that money.
Where's the negative in May?
You see the parentheses down at the bottom?
Oh, I do see it. Okay, never mind. Yep.
But then we'll be okay once we get to June. Well, so if I bounce all my checks in May, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll just make up for it in June? I don't know. I was just like, and then if you look at the other one, he does it again in November. Now, if you know that those are going to be your hard times, wouldn't you save money to cover that so you wouldn't have negatives?
Yeah.
And this is who you guys nominated for your auditor? You see the negative one? Now that one's better. That one's only $517,000. I don't know why that one's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you know you're going to do this, then you need to budget different. This is not how you do a budget.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's just a little weird.
Yeah, it really is.
And then he says, and I don't really have much more than that to show you tonight. And I'm thinking,
well,
I want to know why you're in a negative number.
Yeah, right. Like, could we wait a minute? You might be done, but we're not.
But we don't get to speak. We don't get to talk about this stuff. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up to everybody tonight. If you saw that, it was just strange. And I'm concerned that we have deficits 2 months out of 12?
That doesn't make sense. Property taxes are due in a month prior to those negatives. Yeah, I don't understand why that would be. That some of that shit doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why that would be.
Well, I thought it was just me because I'm like, and nobody, not even the council had a problem with that.
Yeah, it didn't seem like that don't mean anything. I was gonna say,
So just something to think about.
I don't know what any of those people are doing, and I'm not 100% sure that any of them know what either of them are doing.
Because I would have backed up the auditor right there and said, wait a minute here.
Yeah, what?
So that came up tonight, and then as we went on, the surveyor got up and he started asking about education money because he's for 8 years.
Now wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Is this is where the attorney talk was?
Yeah, my thoughts.
Yeah.
I've gone through all the info. I've gone through most of the info that Chrissy sent. I do have a couple questions, which you want to talk first about
And
before I say my question, because you may be able to answer.
Well, I spoke with the gentleman at the chapel and asked him because he emailed us this explanation and his proposal, but it's not in as much detail because he doesn't have exactly what it is we need. He wants to make sure he tailors the proposal to what our needs are. So he just didn't have the time to do that because I didn't even talk to him. It was a late Thursday before I got information to be able to get it to him. He just didn't have time to get that together to know specifically what it is.
so they're talking about them not having time.
That we have comparatively.
And I want you to hear what Rob does here.
The same comparable information. I would feel personally a lot more comfortable making a decision if we have all that.
Diana, and then she had to point me to an email that was sent earlier in June. January. I overlooked it. KGR that currently provides us legal counsel is at the $2,000 per month. They provide Diana, and then she had to point me to an email that was sent earlier in June. January. I overlooked it. KGR that currently provides us legal counsel is at the $2,000 per month. They provide roughly 5 hours of work through the month. There's also some little details. If we had a quick 5 or 10 minute call, they don't charge us for those and the other work. And these are very comparable with the dollar amount and 5 to 6 hours per month. Pretty common. What I remember going through this 3 years ago, and actually we got a better pool of candidates than we did 3 years ago. I don't see anything that would cause me concern to hire any one of these four should we decide tonight with the council.
Well, and I don't disagree. We have a lot of options here. Just that this one came kind of late notice on our radar, and just the experience that he has to offer and being that connection with the LGF and his background. And did you see his biography?
Yeah, attorneys don't help us with the budget.
Yeah, I know.
We
But
all have guidance. I mean, if we get emails on the auditor, probably knows as much about every minute that things are due. And that's not the job of the attorney to tell us when things are due.
Right.
I don't think it hurts to wait 1 week personally to get one more person. I think that has done a phenomenal job getting us the information we have. But I don't think it hurts at all having one more person.
And are you proposing that we hold this off until next month? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think
They're making it sound like such a big deal, and it's like, dude, what's another month?
Well, here's my concern. If the attorney doesn't help them, then why do they have one on their?
Right.
I mean, then why are we even paying for an attorney if he doesn't
Right.
help?
Right.
They don't tell you when things are due. Well, obviously because Rick had it so screwed up in 23 and 24.
I think it would be
Yeah.
What's so amazing is if people go back and look at the tapes when we did the budgets in 23 and 24, they did a lot of referring to Ted Nolting, asking him, well, can we do this? Can we not do that? Can we do this? So that's not true, Rob, to say that the attorney doesn't help you.
Right.
Right here, people, we no longer need attorneys at the county council because Rob says they're useless.
Rob, yeah, right.
Waste of money. Let's get them. Let's get rid of them. I mean, it's like, what were you drinking tonight, Rob? And look at Rob. He is just fuming over there on the side, like, and so it, I don't even know.
It's amazing. It's crazy.
But I want to commend this attorney for sitting here, because when Rob said we had better candidates than what we had 3 or 4 years ago, what an insult to this kid's firm. No wonder the firm fired the guy.
Yes. I amend that we take a motion.
It's just that they seem so confused on what they're doing.
I will second this.
That's what happens when you give Diana Likens a project that she can't complete.
Right.
There's a council person. I mean, the level of incompetence is just amazing.
Yeah.
If she did a really good job here, this wouldn't be.
My motion
Sure.
is that we table making a decision tonight until next month's meeting so we can get it complete.
And I don't know if you guys saw down here, but this meeting only lasted right about 45 minutes.
Yeah. And they're tabling, and what this means is, and like Jonathan Kolb said, that just means we go without an attorney for a month or so.
Councilor Cole? Yes. Councilor Likens?
Yes.
Councilor Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilor Keller?
Yes.
Vice President Norrick?
Yes. Okay.
So did he just shake his head?
Table it till next month.
Go back to that attorney. Was he just shaking his head like we are?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think that's what he did. Like, you guys are morons. You're going to be without any representation.
Roll call vote.
Councilor Steele?
No.
Councilor Cole? Yes. Councilor Likens?
Yes.
Councilor Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilor Keller?
Yes.
Vice President Norrick?
Yes. Okay. So we will
I'd scratch my head
table
too.
it till next month.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Likens should have voted no because she's done all this work in it.
Yeah.
And she votes against herself. Call me crazy.
Fifth option. And have it
Yeah.
in a spreadsheet with apples to apples.
Look at Rob's face. He's
Councilor Steele?
fuming.
No.
Councilor Cole? Yes. Councilor Likens?
Yes.
Councilor Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilor Keller?
Yes.
Vice President Norrick?
Yes. Okay.
So
We will
we have no attorney
next month.
until next month, and maybe next month. You know who's one of those 4 people?
Ooh.
That attorney group out of Muncie that you were like,
Oh
no.
yeah.
Okay, next is.
I said yeah, and I would not include them in it. I just think that they are too overstretched.
Okay.
Like we were talking earlier, over promise, under deliver. I would not.
Steele thinks it's a great idea. They're very excellent.
Wait, so is that who he likes?
That's one of the 4 people. Yeah, he's like, these are all great candidates. All of them are good. They didn't take anybody off or narrow it down.
Yeah, they're wanting to increase.
And so, I mean, that's just going to add more confusion. They should have at least crossed a couple off and said, okay, we're done with these.
We're down to here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the dumbest thing that these people were saying is that these grown-ass adult attorneys were not going to be able to sit in this room and listen to their competitors. I'm like, that's what attorneys do.
They only need to look at them on paper and look at what the money's going to be. They are not worried about the quality of the individual. They're not worried how they present. They're not worried about any of that. They're just worried about how much they're going to charge them and how they look on paper.
Yeah.
So Kevin's going to go charge his ankle bracelet. That's better than what Steve Sumner had. So whatever, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
And that's what
Yeah,
these transfers
yeah.
are. They're coming
As
from
you watch
line,
this-
he had excess.
What?
Ken got up there. Ken Kaczynski got up there. This was really what's amazing, people. If you've got property issues in Madison County
Right,
with
we had the wrong date.
when it comes to like drainage and stuff, let me tell you why. Ken just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
He said they haven't had training in 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. Where was that at?
Little forward, go a little forward.
San Antonio, Texas. For
There he is.
Get the tools and training that I need, and also network, so I can do a better job in the surveyor's office for you.
Make a motion to approve.
Let me back up a little bit.
And 40 hours in the next 3 years. It's not required by the state. It's highly recommended, and they're going to regulate it in the near future. If we don't get it, then I don't know what the outcome would be at that point. So I have the training schedule that I believe that I'm going to go to for the rest of the year. Might be one in there, but I have other dates that will get me the hours I need so I can get the tools and training that I need, and also network so I can do a better job in the surveyor's office for you.
Make a motion to approve.
Now you might want to back it up. He'll tell you what line item it comes for. So here's my understanding, people. So what happens is everybody who has a deed
Yeah,
in Madison County, it goes through the recorder's office.
yeah.
$1 from every deed goes into this 1217 line. And then anybody who is a constitutional office can have, whatever money they need for education and training. And it's a lot of money. It's not small chump change. Well, nobody's ever known like out loud this until Ken kind of has come along and brought it up to everybody's attention because he learned about it, right?
That's insane.
So then all the way at the end of the meeting, Dave Sargent gets up there and he's like, well, will the coroner's office be able to have some of that money from that line item?
Yeah.
And so then Todd goes, well, it's not open to every office. I know that the county council now can get money from that. Okay. It's for every constitutional office. At the end of the day, people, the coroner's office should have never had to beg for any type of education money because it was all sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
Rick and those guys all knew it was there. We didn't know it was there because they don't give you any type of in-service. You're learning by the seat of your pants. And I'm telling you right now, this is what corruption looks like. This
Absolutely.
is what you guys have no idea the money they hide and move and maneuver and pocket. This now is beginning to show you. Now, if you listen to Ken, I'm not opposed to Ken having this money for education.
No.
Even though Ken transparently admits to the people, this is highly recommended. This is not a requirement. Okay. The coroner's office, it's a requirement, and we would have to get up there and beg for money for over an hour, right?
Yeah, right.
Sheriff's office has to get up there and beg for money
Constantly.
right?
Yeah.
But they're letting this go through with Ken, and
Right.
which is fine. I mean, I don't care. But isn't it sad that we don't treat every office with the same respect?
Right. That's insane that they do.
They knew the money was there the whole time. And that's the whole thing. So listen to Ken explain this to the people.
Yeah.
The council didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
I'm
Listen.
asking for $10,000 from line 1217. And it's the elected, for county elected officials for training. In the past, the last 8 years, there was no money ever given to the surveyor's office. The money's already there. It's not asking for new money in the general fund. It's going to go from line 1217 to 39006, which is my account. Any constitutional office, which you guys also have it yourself. Mine goes into 39006. I need 15 hours of ed this year and 40 hours in the next 3 years. It's not required by the state. It's highly recommended, and they're going to regulate it in the near future. If we don't get it, then I don't know what the outcome would be at that point. So I have the training schedule that I believe that I'm going to go to for the rest of the year. There might be one in there, but I have other dates that will get me the hours I need so I can get the tools and training that I need, and also network so I can do a better job in the surveyor's office for you.
So here's the thing. So for 8 years, you guys have had a surveyor that you've reelected who's done zero training for 8 years.
Yeah.
And you wonder why we've got drainage issues. You wonder why we've got problems in Madison County. Well, there you go.
Right.
So I commend, Ken for doing all this. And I will tell you guys, on top of Ken having to do all this, he's running his businesses.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very, very busy man, but he obviously cares enough to go and get educated on the information and to network and see what other counties are doing. And that's how things really should be. This is how you grow.
Yes.
This is how you bring things back to your county and make things better.
Yes.
And so I just kind of want to let people know, I would love to do an audit on that line item, that 1217 for the past decade, to see if any was ever given to the surveyor's office and it never got used.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see how much has been given to every department. If it's gotten too much in there, where that overflow went. Is that how they got the big raises in the recorder's office last year?
Yeah.
Remember, they had a lot of money, and so they had it in different line items that they could use it. So there's just a lot out there, people. If you're starting to watch this, I think we're going to see more and more things open up and come to light as we've gotten people in these seats who are digging.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of wanted to let you know that he came with a plan.
Yeah.
I need this many hours. I'm going to need this many hours. This is my vision. This is what I need. Instead of, can I just have $10,000? Because I just need $10,000 for education. And that's it. The credit hours for that, they're expensive, people. They're not usually cheap.
Right.
So I just kind of want to put this out to you. Then you see Stephanie Mellinger get up there and she just asked for a blank check. And these guys are like, okay, just give it to her. Prosecutor's office, blank check. Okay, just give it to him.
Yeah, right.
I watching that tonight, I just had to shake my head. And I'm at this point. What's to get up and talk about at the podium?
Yeah.
They're going to continue to allow blank checks. And until other people come up to that podium and start asking them, Dave Sargent's done a great job to do that. Cheryl's done a great job. But more people are going to have to come out and say, what is going on here?
Yeah.
My biggest concern is how much money that was put out here tonight between the health department and the prosecutor's office. Yet for children, we're the third most dangerous for children out of 92 counties. We're number 3, people. We're in the top 3.
Age? What age are you calling children?
It's for CASA.
Okay.
So, that's the thing. This is a dangerous county. And we're dumping money in not only is this a dangerous county, it's an unhealthy county. Yeah. And we just keep dumping more and more money and nobody is asking. I'll tell you right now, if I went to do a job and my performance wasn't making people better, oh, that's right. Medicare does that. Right. If my people are not meeting certain A1Cs, diabetes, all those things, I get dinged. They take money away from paying us.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like I can be with you and tell you what to put in your mouth and what not to put in your mouth. I can't, but I'm responsible for that.
Right.
I need to have tighter control. I mean, this is a perfect, let me send this to you guys. This was in the paper asking for volunteers. And so I think it's great if you want to volunteer for this, you can certainly volunteer from this. But I want you to look at the fine print on this post that's in the paper. And it says Madison County has the 3rd highest number of child abuse and neglect cases in Indiana. But look how much money we dump over there. It's crazy. See, people don't read that fine print. They just see the volunteers, right?
Yeah.
This is craziness.
Yeah.
We need to crack down.
Yeah.
But that starts with the prosecutor. Oh, that's right. There's a Pacers game tonight.
That I still cannot believe that.
I'm just appreciative at how much you let us talk on your show and put up breaking news. We just appreciate this so much.
I love it. I absolutely
So
love
I encourage you to volunteer for this. If you're watching tonight and
Yeah.
and you feel called for this in your heart, please go do that. There is a need, but we also should be showing up at these council meetings asking, why are we dumping so much money into these offices and we're still the third highest number of child abuse and neglect cases in Indiana?
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes you need some sacrificial lamb and put some people in jail for a solid reason. We wouldn't have this problem.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know, I mean,
Yes.
that's the whole thing. I remember years ago in Hamilton County, there was a Judge Sauce, and boy, he was so hard on drinking and driving. He threw everybody in jail for drinking and driving, and he gave them huge punishments. Well, in Hamilton County, people are afraid to drink and drive. Do they do it? Yeah, but it's not as prevalent as you see in other areas because he was so hard on those people.
Yeah.
And then voila, he got into a drinking and driving, and well, he lost his judgeship after that because it was a little hypocritical. But you know, that's just the reality of it. So the meeting had lots of moments in it. I can't say more than that. It looks like we had some issues in the veteran affairs area where, you know, this is what happens. Again, I'm not against giving raises, people. I'm not. I don't even want to say that in any department to an extent. But we're supposed to be following a protocol.
Sure.
You're supposed to go to once a year. They have a personnel meeting. That's where you say, these are your raises. This is what you're going to do. And then they do that. But in Madison County, if you go back to last year, almost every single month we had a meeting, a department was getting a raise. How are they getting that raise? So how you do it in Madison County is you overinflate your budget. And then once you get that approved, you come back the next year and you say, oh, in line item 10056, I really don't need all that money. So I'm going to take the $60,000 out of that. I'm going to disperse those raises amongst my people. And I'm not going to come back and ask you next year for that money.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't know, because this drives me nuts on the county council when they say, I'm not going to come back and ask you for that next year.
Right.
Okay. You are going to come back and ask them for it next year.
Right.
You're just not asking them in the 1007 line. You're asking for it now in your payroll line.
Yes.
That's about the biggest bunch of crock that I've heard.
Yes.
But see, people, again, if you don't go to the podium and you don't start to say stuff, this is what becomes the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is they're not going to come back next year and ask for 400,000. They're still coming back and asking for the 460,000 that they asked for, but it's redistributed in a different way. So I just want you to know that I'm tired of hearing that. That's the dumbest thing ever when I hear the council talk about that. Oh, you're going to take it out and you're not going to come back next year and ask for it. Okay, then you can have it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things. But again, I know that we kind of go long on Madison County.
No, you're fine. Let me ask you overall, do you think that Jodi did a good job tonight?
I will say I thought she did a fair job tonight.
That's fair.
That's about it. And I will also say Jonathan did a fair job tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit's due. I'm not afraid to do that. Yes. I think they both did a fair job tonight. Bethany was awfully quiet tonight. I'm not sure why, but she was. I mean, she seconded a lot of things for Christy. It was good to see that Christy and Bethany are on the same page, and finally Bethany's got some support going for her. So that's a good thing. Yeah. It will be interesting to watch the rest of this year evolve. I think tonight was a very quiet night because, Green isn't there. I don't know why you people think he's got any bright ideas. I mean, he's brand new to the council. Jodi should have taken the bull by the horns and done all kinds of things tonight.
Right.
She acted more submissive and just, okay, I'm just going to fill in this and be a warm body tonight.
Yeah,
So that's why I say she did a fair job.
I was kind of hoping that Bethany
She
would
did the
talk a little
minimum.
bit more, but she didn't really say much. They did a good job tonight. It ran fairly smooth. There were points in there where it seemed like nobody really knew what was going on, and that's frustrating. You know, I understand that we have some new people up there, and that's going to happen, but it just, I mean, Jodi's not new, and she was running the meeting, and so it shouldn't have seemed like that as much. You know, I understand nerves come into it and whatever, but it's like, all right, now's the time to perform. And like you said, it was fair. It was just kind of middle of the road. But, you know, it'll be really interesting to see what happens when Green comes back and when Green is leading things, to see if, you know, the others can speak up against him and kind of push back and hold their own, you know, against whatever things that he and the others are doing.
Well, you know who I would like to see run that meeting?
Who?
Is Bethany Keller.
Yeah.
I really would.
Yeah.
Because I really think she's the one to run it.
Yep.
You know, so I
Yep.
mean, I'd really like to see Bethany run it. I think Bethany had her thoughts tonight, but I think they were doing such a fine job at showing that, well, Diana really didn't submit what she needed to.
Yeah.
Bethany didn't need to say anything,
Right.
because they're already showing how incompetent Diana is, right? And
Right.
then, you know, Steele's like, well, I don't want to put any energy into this. Just pick somebody. As a matter of fact, what we should do, people, is just put a list up there, throw a dart, and whichever one it lands on is what we should do for the county. Let's not put any effort into this.
Yes, right.
I mean, after all, what Steele say? Well, I overlooked it in December, then I overlooked it in January. I don't know, Rob. Put down your glass and focus on something. I mean, we've had holidays and everything. We had a 3-day weekend for Martin Luther King. I don't know, Rob. It just floors me that you're like, well, I overlooked this and I overlooked that. What's the big deal? Now, okay, everybody vote.
Right.
It's just craziness. But that's almost what I felt. You know, let's just throw a dart and see where we land, and we'll just deal with the fact afterwards if we pick the wrong group.
Yeah.
You know, thanks to Ted Nolting and their people that they graciously gave them 2 months, because we probably would have went this first whole quarter without any type of attorneys, because nobody can seem to get this together. It's very evident.
Yeah.
At this meeting tonight, I'll be telling you what I did notice tonight. What I noticed tonight is that Rob Steele and Diana Likens are just along for the ride.
Yes.
You know, they always were able to ride on Ben Gale's coattail, or, you know, whatever, or Anthony Emery's, right?
Yeah.
But they never did. They never do their homework.
Yeah.
They're the kids who run in at the last minute and then cheat off of you on a test,
Yes.
and they think you're never going to be able to figure out that they're just buffoons.
Yeah. Right.
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 And so that's kind of what tonight showed me more than anything.
Sure.
That they're just along for the ride to take home a taxpayer check. They're not doing anything extra outside of that office. Now, Bethany Keller, I mean, she's raising a family and she's putting in all this work. Jodi Norrick does put in the work.
Yeah.
Christy, you can see she's putting in the work. And tonight, from Jonathan's performance, it looks like he's read through the material and he's put in the work. And Jonathan was transparent. He says, I've looked through the majority of this. Well, okay, sometimes you can't get to all of it. So I just want people to know, if you're watching their body language and their actions, they told you a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Diana's been working on this project since December. And this council still can't get it together because she hasn't done enough. Diana needs to go.
Yeah. She's horrible.
Rob Steele needs to go. They need not to kick this can down the road any longer. But if they could just wait until after March 1 to resign, so that we have true precinct committeemen in place, that we can actually vote for good people into those seats, would be perfect.
Yeah. I tell you. Well, hopefully, March 1st is coming. It's coming quick. You know, I think we'll be able to get here and we'll be able to get the leadership in place, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, I think things I think it's going to be interesting. It's Madison County. This is Madison County's moment, and they can take it and they can go forward with it, or they can let it pass them. And if it passes them, you don't get many chances like this.
No. And thank you to Dr. Ackerman and Lisa for putting themselves out there
Yeah.
and you know, and doing this. This is a huge thing to do, people. It's not easy. If you've never run for an office, run for a school board, run for a township, run for something, and you'll see it's a lot of work and you take a lot of hits in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
so, but I appreciate you. Hopefully you have September 1 marked on your calendar that we'll do a special show that night.
Yes,
No matter who
absolutely.
wins, we'll be doing a
Yes.
special thought process
Yes.
on that. And then we'll see how the rest of
Well,
the week goes.
we'll have to do that Friday. We'll have to do a special show Friday, and then we'll have to do a show Saturday to make up. So we'll have to do a twofer. We'll have to do like a part 1 and part 2 Friday before the thing, and then we'll have to do that Saturday to say, okay, like this is what happened.
Right.
So
Now, when's the last date for everybody to file?
Everybody file for what?
For chair.
I don't know.
I think it's 72 hours prior to the reorganization meeting. Meaning that we may have more than just Kelly and Lisa running in those positions, but I think the deadline is 72 hours prior to the reorganization. You have to have your paperwork in.
Yeah, I can't. I'll have to look into that and let you know. That you could be right. I'm not 100% sure because, again, that's not like state law. That's party rules and such. So I don't know exactly what the deal is with that. But yeah, I'm not going to say you're wrong. That sounds right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, and then we'll see how many people we've got to divide those votes up.
So let me look here before we wrap up. So today, if you're watching this live, we are broadcasting this live on the Tuesday the 11th, and so that means we basically have next week. A week from tonight would be Tuesday the 18th. So that would be Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd. So we only have this weekend, Valentine's Day, and then we have the following weekend, and then it's here.
It's here, yeah. So we're about 2 weeks out.
We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 Fridays.
Yeah, and Rush thinks he's doing us some favor by sending out the letter right now. I mean, come on, Rush. You're going to hit that 10-day mark no matter what. If you send it out now, they're still just going to have 10 days by the time it gets to them. And I will say, Shalila, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. They did raise the Anderson utilities today. It'll be in the paper in the morning. So I do want to let you know that. That'll be an interesting Anderson City Council meeting on Thursday. So yes, that is Thursday. You are correct. Scott is a puppet for the organization. I believe Lisa and Ackerman will win, and it will be interesting to see how he behaves after they win.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how Olivia Pratt behaves, Rick Gardner behaves, Rob Steele, Diana Likens. It's going to be an interesting change of venue here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this will shake things up. And so this will be good to watch. I'm
excited for it.
Yeah. So we'll just watch and wait, and I'll keep you guys posted. Since we had tonight's show, I don't know if we'll need to do anything Friday night, but you just never know what's going to happen in this county.
Yeah. If we need to, we'll do what we got to do, but we'll go from there. Well, Katherine, thank you as always. You're welcome anytime. I appreciate it. It was a good show, a good Madison County meeting, and I'm glad that we finally have a date for the caucus. Again, that's Saturday, March 1st. I'm gonna say be there at 9 o'clock a.m. sharp with your ID. Don't leave home without it, and be there ready to rock and roll. Don't let them pull any kind of stunt. You have to be ready. I would hate for them to be like, oh, look, it's 9 o'clock. We're all here. Let's get started. and then be done by the time everybody got there. I just wouldn't give them any chance.
People need to have their phones charged,
Take
take pictures, record. You know, Russ can tell you can't record. You can do whatever you want. It's your phone.
Yeah, right.
You can,
right.
just like we tell you people when we go to the election to vote, you can have your phone out with you. It's your vote.
Yes.
You can do it. It's fine.
Oh, and that reminded me, and I want to say this, and I'm not taking shots at anybody, and I'm specifically so there's a lot of people in Madison County that I love because they've reached out and they've been like, hey, I'm just learning and I appreciate, watching you guys and doing all of this. And I love all those people. And I love that because that's what the point of this is. And one of those people that I absolutely love is, what's his name?
Okay,
Sergeant. Yes.
Dave Sargent.
Dave Sargent. I love him. I love him. I love him. He's excellent. I think he's still here. I heard him. He got up during the public comments tonight, and he got up and he gave his address. And I thought, he's still giving his address. And I just want to say this, and this is not taking a shot at him. I'm just putting out there for everybody. They've got everybody so used to the idea that you have to give your address. Well, first of all, we've not heard this new council ask for that. I've not even heard the new Madison County commissioners ask for it. But by law, you do not have to give that. You do not have to give that to speak. They cannot force you to give it to speak. And I just tell everybody this, even if you don't care, think about this. There are women that attend those meetings that are single, that live by themselves, that have to go home in the dark, that people, it's politics. If people get angry, you never know if somebody would be waiting on somebody to get home or somebody's breaking into their house if they always give their address. There's more than just the political, like, I'm going to fight you reason to not give your address. So if you want to be nicey nice with them and comply, just give the city or give the county. You don't have to get up and give, I live at 123 Maple Street. Just get up and say, I'm a Madison County resident, a Delaware County resident, Henry County resident here, resident of Anderson, city of Anderson.
Or just give your zip code.
Give your zip code. I live at 47302 or whatever. Just do that. Now I say I don't do that. I get up and I say Kristopher Bilbrey. And if they push me, I'll tell them no, I don't have to give it. And if they push me too hard, I say I'm an American, and that's as much as they get from me.
Now, when they ask me, I tell them that I don't want to make the sheriffs or the police officers busy. And since I'm on a live feed, that I don't give it basically for that.
Yeah.
I'm at a public meeting,
Absolutely.
So,
and the only reason I'm saying that is because I understand there are people who say, I don't care, but just think about it, because what happens is we might get up and not care. And I feel I can take care of myself and I'm always carrying. So if someone's in my house when I get home, they won't be for long. The bottom line is if we do that, then when the little old lady gets up or the little old man that lives by himself gets up and they feel like they have to do it, first of all, they might not get up because they feel intimidated. And second of all, if they do, then they give their name and they feel scared because they, their address. So just keep that in mind. And I'm not taking shots at you, Dave. I get it. You just put it in my mind. So just get up, give your name, and that's it. Or give your city, give your county, give your zip code, and
or give Russ Willis's address.
Yeah, right. I always have a couple different addresses that if they absolutely push me, they would not like me giving the addresses that I have in my memory. So, there's different things that you can do to comply with what's legal, and there's nothing they can do about it. So just keep that in mind. But, well, Katherine, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll have you back on, obviously, and you're a permanent fixture here.
After all this is done and after March, we need to get Dave Sargent on here to talk about the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
You put a lot of work into that.
I'm down for that. I'm definitely down.
Maybe we'll have a couple beers that night to represent the beer cooler.
Yes. Absolutely.
I don't drink, and I don't know that Sarge does, but we can just have them as props.
I'm not a drinker, but I drink
props
a beer.
Are good.
I could drink a beer. That don't bother me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank Katherine for being here. We will see you back here very soon. So thank you, Katherine. I'll be right back there with you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, tune in tomorrow morning at 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 Indiana General Assembly, State House Committee, Courts and Criminal Code, to hear what could very well be the final House Committee meeting on Indiana House Bill 1186. So keep that in mind. That's the Police Matters Bill, the jurisdiction, the training, and the reserve ordeal. And the off-duty security situation. So keep that in mind. One of our officers that was on the other day, Officer Elias Donker, he was down at the State House today, and he was going toe to toe, handing out things with those people, and he made me really proud. We're going to have him back on here coming up because I want to talk about what he did down there, and I'm going to push him into running for office. He needs to run for local office. He needs to run for state office. Being a former a military veteran and a police officer, I think he's getting a taste for the political world, and I just love seeing it. He looked like he was alive today, and so I can't wait to have him back on to talk about that and to hear what all he did today. He did talk to the author of that bill. We'll talk about all that tomorrow, but we'll have that in the morning, 10:30, and then tomorrow evening, for the night show, it'll be episode 390. We will talk about Senate Bill 01, which is the property tax bill, bronze property tax bill that just was absolutely gutted today. We will talk about the industrial solar, industrial wind, and removing home rule bill, which is House Bill 1628. And then we'll talk about the Law Enforcement Matters Bill, House Bill 1186. So that's tomorrow night at 9. And I also want to say, I've had 2 people reach out and ask for specific points to be talked about on the show. I had somebody reach out and ask me to talk about a roundabout that the state is getting ready to put in down by Shenandoah High School. And I'm going to try and cover that on Thursday. I also had someone reach out and ask me to cover the go through like step by step on what to do in filing for a record request, an Indiana State APRA request, and to do that, and maybe also go through a FOIA request, and to go through what happens if they don't, how to file, how to contact the public access counselor, and I'm going to do that. So what I'll probably do is Wednesday night, tomorrow, I'm going to do the State House stuff. On Thursday, I will cover the more about Dustin Clark and everything that's going on there. During the back half of that show, I will also talk about the record request stuff. And then either Thursday or maybe Friday or maybe next Sunday, then we'll do the show about the roundabout. So I just want to let you guys know when I am going to talk about that stuff. So, all right, you guys take care. Hey, on your way out, please click the thumb, hit the like, let us know you love us or that you like us a little or that you tolerate us. That would be great. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Click the bell to set up the notifications and share the show with everyone you know. Take care of yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Have a great Wednesday, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Take care, and what's going on here? Good night.